for that. We are live. We just wait for it to connect. So is it a busy day today, Shafiq? I mean,
It's super busy. Like just now, I got a call from the customer. I have two customers. So I was like, whether I'll be get late because always customer is first, right?
thank you. I mean, I know 11 a.m.
But it's good. It's good. I just put my phone away, so that's the best thing I can do.
Cute. And everybody's so curious to know what's happening. And I thought it'll be great to have these daily life conversations. Earlier we used to do like 10 a month, but that was too less because it's things are moving so fast, right? So, and 11 a.m. seems like a perfect time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So we are live. Just
So are we live now?
yes, we are live right now.
Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Finance Story Daily, where we bring you insights, trends, and stories to enable you make better decisions. So, according to the latest annual Global Entrepreneurship Monitor survey, the UAE is the best place in the world to start a business. It has actually held the number one position for 3 years in a row. And the next countries who are in the top five happens to be India, Saudi, and Qatar. So, to help us understand the opportunities in the Middle East, specifically GCC and the UAE with special focus, and also to understand what opportunities exist in the back office operations to small and medium businesses, we have with us Shafiq, who's a founder of Financials. Okay, so financials.com. So Financials basically started in 2023 in Dubai, and today they have a team of over 40 and with over 250 plus clients, and all they do is help businesses with their tax, finances, and bookkeeping. And technology is core to what they do. So to help us understand all of this, we have the Shafiq. Shafiq, thank you so much for joining us, and really, really thankful that you made the time. Today. I know you have a busy day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Chantele, for inviting me for this webinar. And yeah, I think as you mentioned, UAE is one of the best place to start a business, and I'm very optimistic about Middle East market, especially which I always call them as an underdog, which is not much explored in terms of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So this is a great place to be in, and yeah, happy to have a conversation,
Yeah.
Chandler.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining in. If you have any questions, just shoot right away. We will ask Shafi to answer every single question. So thank you again for joining in. So, my first question is, can you tell us about your journey basically? I know it was India, then you moved in 2016 to Kuwait. Okay. And it's recently in 2023, during a conversation, you said that you moved here you just happened to be in Dubai for a holiday, and you decided, hey, this is the place, right? So can you take us back and through your GCC journey?
Yes, yes. So basically, I'm always fascinated about entrepreneurship ideas that is happening across the globe. So back then, I was in consulting in Grand Thornton in India, working with a couple of clients. So my always curiosity is around how large companies have been built and how they are scaling so fast. Like I was looking at some of the companies like GMR, which is a 20 years old company, have 120 entities. So this always fascinated me. Once upon a while, my friend, he said, why don't you help me in my business in Kuwait? He was running a business. So, so I didn't think left and right. I actually backpacked. I gave a resignations to my firm. I backpacked to Kuwait with him, started working from the ground, and we built a couple of ventures in Kuwait, and I happened to work with a couple of amazing folks there, built few companies, and that was point the COVID came, and uh, I was away from family for a long time, and I thought I'll go back to India, and I'll just maybe retire or don't do anything more. So that was a point. Then I was bored staying in India for 1 year during COVID. Then I came back to Dubai for a holiday, started financials. So a massive opportunity in this space, which I always wanted to help entrepreneurs to be financially literate, help them to improve their financial performance. So that's all wrapped up in financials.com.
Amazing. So I'm just curious to know. So, what is it that was happening in Kuwait? Like, what I've seen on your LinkedIn that you've built a couple of businesses, you've been a part of. So, would you want to highlight a little bit about that? Because that would be interesting.
Yes, so I was actually into cloud kitchen, which is not known for somebody who studied like CA, CMA, right? So I actually worked on the ground in the kitchen, tried my hands in baking, and we scaled to 4 5 branches, did fantastically well. We got some buyout, and then I wanted to start financials like in a different way. At that time I was seeing this global wave of bench accounting in Canada, so I went to a venture builder, some of my friends, and they gave me like 2 3 4 clients to test, and I got fascinated the idea of these 3 4 customers they have. Very good startups have massive industry. So at some point I started consulting the CEO of those companies, and it was like a group entity. Venture studios, how they work, they build multiple companies at a time. So they asked me at some point, why don't you join as a CFO in the group, shut it down the companies, the venture that you're building. You join as a CFO, we'll give you shares in all of these companies that we are building. And then I thought it's a good opportunity because there's enormous uh, access to networks in markets like Kuwait. It very much works on relationships. So that's where I decided to jump in that opportunity. I saw the industry is very huge. That is actually I started working with startups, and then I was fortunate to work with a couple of folks. The companies, like we had a company called Mashkoor in last mile logistics, right? And Mashkoor was something like Dunzo in India,
Okay.
and this is a massive opportunity that I saw. And the COO actually was left the company, and but he built an amazing team. So I saw that an opportunity. I jumped in, started turning around the company. We started scaling massively. So then we built something like in shorts of India in Arabic content, which
Wow.
is also having massive views, which is also very successful venture. So I tried my hands in startups technology. I was very fortunate to work with a couple of amazing folks in technology space. So that actually I decided this is my purpose of life, and this is where I wanted to be in my next few years. And then I traveled to India, looked at the ecosystem in India, talked to a number of startup founders to understand what's going on in Indian market, and understand what are the to learn from them. That was I was doing in during sabbatical in India. So then I came back to Dubai. So Kuwait was like a lot of insights into Middle East market, understanding consumer behavior, cultural, understanding what exactly where the industries are going, where the economy is going. So a lot of insights, and I made a lot of friends in Kuwait. We still hang out here, so that was very good opportunity. I see that I'm very optimistic about this part of the world.
Amazing. Can you delve a little deeper as to why you're very optimistic about this part of the world? We see a lot of genuine, what do you say, interest. Okay, businesses are being set up. People want to come here either to start up their own business, expand their, Indian or global offices over here. Great talent is coming here. So, and you also mentioned like the has always been like an underdog. So, can you what is the growth that you're seeing? If you can be specific about it.
See, what I see, like there is an appetite for innovation. There is an hungriness for innovating, for growing, being pioneer. What His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid always talks about being a pioneer in what they do. So this has been a very strong proponent, and I will tell you what I have the insights from the market that I've worked with, right? I was running a Mashkoor at a point in time. So, as we are in business, we are in entrepreneurship. So we are always fascinated about the ideas, markets, economies. So I was looking at Mashkoor numbers at some point, and then a very small market like Kuwait,
Yeah.
has we started like 1.5 years, and Dunzo was we were comparing with the Dunzo numbers,
Yeah.
and what Dunzo has done in 5 years, we have done in 1.5 years in a small market like Kuwait. So
Yeah.
there is a huge potential because of the high purchasing power, the high appetite to adopt technology, right? And we were growing very fast. So also I looked at Al Zubda, for example, right? And this cloud kitchen model we tested in 2016. Everything was a very successful growth trajectory that we had. So this shows that the market has potential, the market has appetite from a first test hand, right? When you put something, drop something there,
Yeah.
it capture very well. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of appetite for technology companies here, and to start the businesses here.
Amazing.
So that is what I felt, and the entrepreneurship mindset is very high in the people here. Like you look at all of the government employees who
Yeah.
work as local, the local citizens of this region. They have a restaurant, they have a flower shop, they have some small business. Everybody has a business, right?
Yeah.
So the culture is there for entrepreneurship. That's also very fascinating to me. And then if you look at macro factors, they wanted to diversify from non oil sectors, and they
Yeah.
wanted to look at technology as a leap, SMB as an asset class, which also grows very fast. And they wanted to diversify the economy into sustainable, renewable energy,
Yeah.
tourism, technology, right? So there is capital available, there is appetite to diversify, and they are hungry for growth. So a lot of factors which is there. In most of the developing economies have the same appetite that we can see, and that's where you need to bet, unlike Europe or other markets, which is more saturated.
That's amazing. Cool. Sorry for my phone. Shafi, okay, that's great. Okay, so now let's come to financials, okay? You have, in 1.5 year, this has been an amazing growth phase, right? A team of
Yes.
40, 200 plus clients, right? And you're serving only small and medium businesses. Correct. So, would you want to take us through your journey of financials? How did you start? Like, did you have a team when you started here, and how do you manage all of it? And what's the growth trajectory?
Yes, yes. So when I came to Dubai, when you start thinking of a company, you always start thinking of doing sales, right?
Yeah,
As an entrepreneur. So I picked up my phone, called a couple of my friends. I said, hey, you asked me about doing bookkeepings, advising you on finance. I'm happy to assist. Let's do that. Let's schedule a call. I'll do that for you. So that's how I got like a couple of clients to get started with from my friends and circles. And then I slowly hired one of some of the early team members, which I was in talks very early days. They used to work with me on a couple of projects in my previous organizations. So I pulled them, built a team. That's how we started. Then primarily I was looking at only sales, and my team was looking at the operations. They were very strong, so
yeah.
they helped me to set up the whole ops office. And then it's been journey 1.5 years now. We are still scratching the surface. It's not we just like very early stage. I would still call it a pre-seed company.
Okay, so financials provides bookkeeping, tax, finance services, and how does it? I mean, you'll have technology. It's an automated back office kind of an operation. So how does that fit in the flow? Yeah,
Yeah, so see, I will just give you a bit background about the business model, right?
yeah, yeah,
I'm always fascinated about heavy operational industries. So if you look at my trajectory, I was in cloud kitchen, which is heavy human intensive operations. Then last mile logistics. Can you imagine, like, doing 1 hour deliveries across a
Yeah.
country, right? This is not possible without having technology.
Yeah.
So you look at a traditional industry, logistics, taxis, like how Karim has disrupted, or Flipkart, has disrupted the whole retail shopping.
Hmm.
So if you look at traditional industries, there's a lot of room to bring technology and scale, right? So it's the same way if you look at the accounting industry. When you have like 200 clients or 100 clients, you start breaking
Yeah.
because of heavy human intensive operations,
Yeah.
right? So technology will help you to scale that, right? Back and front end that you have, like on the back office operations, puts on automate. A lot of automation happens there, and we are still heavily building out tech. First, we didn't think of building any tech. We just wanted to learn, observe. So we went and acquired 100, customers. Then actually we started building the product and back office, and in the front, right? We are ramping up our tech team, all of these things. So I'm just looking at as an industry, accounting industry, which is very, very massive. There would be like more than 2,000 accounting firms here,
Yeah.
and 500,000 SMBs just in this UAE market. And out of 500,000 SMBs, 250,000 SMBs are 1 to 10 employees, right? And they will never hire an accountant. So this is like, to be a massive company, you hardly need 10,000 clients or 1,000 clients, which makes you gets there. And so these industries are massive by in its essence, and you are just enhancing it, leveraging it using technology.
Amazing. So, Shafiq, there are a lot of people, say in India, especially India, okay? They already have their own practices or their own firms or their own accounting firms, and they want to expand to the UAE. So, how does it work here? Should they set up an office here? Should they collaborate with somebody like you? How does it work?
Yeah, see, it's always there are collaborations is the best way to work, but always sometimes you need to have do the meet people in person, and have start working on small projects. That's how you get projects, right? And then you cross sell or leverage there when you have more trust. This is the best way to go, because every market has its own depth cultural elements, right? So you need to go deep if you really want to grow there big, right? Into the cultural aspects of those countries. That's very important.
Yeah.
So I have seen both sides. Like, people come here and they say, we want to start a company, or they come for networking. They meet people and they actually do really well.
Yeah.
So that's the, and this market is more relationship based marketing, if you understand. So that is very important to build the relationships, have right connections to do the business here. But India, anybody comes from India, they are sitting on a huge supply of talents. And as always, my ex-CEO used to say that India is a big kitchen, right? And so they could serve the globe, across the globe. A lot of countries don't have access to talents or human capital, which India has. So it's a huge opportunity for anyone to look at Middle East, or any global markets in that case.
Amazing. So anyone who's just looking at, hey, I just want to go to Dubai, I'll just go for a week and acquire clients and I'll just serve them from India. It doesn't technically work that way. You have to be on ground and it's very relationship driven. I totally agree with you on that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You always need to have a small office here to run the show, right? Because people don't, especially when it comes to finance, it's a very taboo topic, right? They will not outsource to completely like India. You need to have like somebody here on the ground building relationships, and then
Yeah.
you have rest of the things are managed from India, which works very well.
Yeah. Yeah. Shafi, what was the challenges you faced? I'm sure you would have faced some challenges, in scaling, in growing, in hiring the right team. So if you could highlight a little bit on those lines.
Especially when it comes to financials, getting good talents is always challenge that I face, because accountants who understand startups are very less, Right. So that's where, the major bottleneck that we faced, and we had to heavily invest. We are still investing in teaching people how startups works when it comes to finance and accounting. Right. Those the called the startup finance. Those people who understand are very less in the market. Traditionally, you come from like Big Four, Big Ten. That's where accountants aspire to go. So this is a totally different ball game. So these challenges we have, right? And yeah, and business always have everyday challenges that we try to solve and optimize and improve.
Okay, so talent is the biggest challenge, but that's one area that it could be a little bit dicey. That's what you're saying.
Yes. See, especially getting talents across sales, marketing, or FinOps. That is always we have challenges because the first time hire is that like if I'm in UAE, I need to have a lot of startups in the market so that I can hire from those startups, right? But that is not there. Then the second layer of hire, I look at trajectory of similar industries, not from accounting firm, similar industries, those who have trajectory working like startups and things. So then you need to bring them, and the learning curve, which actually slow down the whole growth, right? And but that's a process you compound over a period of time once the engineers are working very well.
Okay. Shafi, is it very expensive to run a business in Dubai? I mean, is it an expensive process to set up an office, to get the license, or is it become a lot more easier and reasonable? Like, I'm not saying cheap, but reasonable.
Yeah, see, there is so when you come from India, it looks very expensive to run a business here. Uh, 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 so one of the thing, if you have like a lot of complaints and cost of setting up a company, you need to have an office space, right? So the initial setup takes bit of cost. That is, I would say, that is one of the barriers to entry for this region, especially if you look at Saudi or other markets. In India, you can start a company for $200. That's not the case here. So you need to have a bit of good budget. So until unless you are sure of something, it's less. But there are a lot of incubation centers that lets you, if you have some innovative idea, that lets you start here, which offer very incentivized licenses, office spaces, which you could rent and try and start the company here. So cost factor is bit high compared to all other markets across the globe. Like in UK, you can start a company for $80 or Estonia $100. So that's not the case here. But I think there is enough room also to grow if you look at Middle East as a whole.
Yeah, and I was reading, a report which says the number of small and medium businesses are peak to touch 1 million. That's the goal the government has, right? So I guess you're in the perfect space, and it's only going to expand and get bigger and more.
Yes, yes. So I will just tell you like what's problem we are solving in financials,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
For customers.
yeah,
So majorly three problems that I observe
yeah,
for customers. One is lot of manual operations are happening in the back office, right?
yeah,
From setting up a company to doing their bookkeeping, payroll, tax filings. You look at India, for example, right? You have Razorpay, you have a
yeah,
lot of fintech companies who disrupt the whole tax filing, payroll, bookkeeping. Even banks offer bookkeeping along with the neo digital banks, right? So which makes easy for anyone to set up a company and run. So here it's very manual, right? Bank doesn't communicate to the accounting system. Tax authority doesn't communicate to the tax system. So there's a lot of manual offline operations that happens. Second, if you want to hire in UAE, the cost of talents are very high. Excuse me, sorry for my phone.
it's okay. Yeah,
So cost of hiring is very high, and since all the infrastructure is not integrated, what happens? SMBs across Middle East. You look at the data, right? The failure rate is so high compared to any other region, right? Because most of the time, I was very fortunate to work with a lot of SMB owners in this region, and the thing I mostly commonly notice, their financial literacy is poor, Second, they always take decisions without data, right? They go and expand, go without looking at what is the bottom line of the company. And this is where the manual operations, heavy manual operations, where they don't have access to real-time data to understand what's going in the business. And this is causing failure for most of the SMBs. One of the most reasons that
Yeah.
that I've noticed, right? This is where we are coming to play. And if you look at the market, 94% of companies in UAE are SMBs. You will not find that in anywhere else in the world, right? Like if you look at US or UK or other markets, maximum it will be like 40-30% of companies are SMBs,
Yeah.
right? Which is a right indication or bad indication? Which is not a right indication, which is a bad indication, because these companies are not growing to be large, right?
Yes.
So there is a bottleneck. Now, if you look at the vision for UAE, you just wanted to be an $800 billion economy by 2030, and they wanted to have 1 million SMBs by
Yeah.
2030.
Yeah.
On the other side, currently the GDP is around 500 billion, which is growing at 3-4%. Right? If you have to really be at 800 billion, then you need to grow at 7-8% on
Yeah.
compound. So in order to achieve that, where you can achieve this massive growth, right? You have two ways. You fuel these SMBs, either in terms of their numbers or in terms of their growth,
Yeah.
right? You have to look at this, and government is studying about this. They're saying that lack of digital infrastructure, lack of balance, lack of access to financing are the major hurdles for these SMBs to grow,
Yeah.
right? And this is also a lot of things comes with the data sanity of the books, lack of digitalization. So there is a massive problem that exists in the market to help these SMBs to grow, and we
Yeah.
are heavily investing there. And running back office, I would go to US, set up my company and run it, because my whole back office is automated. And here, everything is manual, so you will not be able to achieve that massive number of 1 million SMBs if your back office is not
Yeah.
digitalized.
Yeah.
So this is where we are betting financials. We really think that we can actually impact the economy massively when we achieve some milestones in terms of building the infrastructure.
That's amazing. So now I'm curious to know. So, how does financials operate? So, if there's a small business, okay, how what do they do? They log onto your website, and what next from there?
Yeah, so they can go to a website, they can just log in there, we'll schedule a call. So there'll be like two tech that we have, right? One is a client portal. Client portal, they can see what is the pending task, what is the insights, what is their financial health. They have the whole analytics real time, and then they can do like bit of payroll, invoicing, all of these things, which will build completely on a client portal to manage all finance in one. And then there is a back office that tech that happens, which automate the whole accountant's work, like sending reminders, sending calendar, setting up accounting calendars for different tasks, and also like closing the books. It has its own templates, onboarding templates. So backend is completely automated, streamlined. This is one of the tech that we are building. So this is a two-way tech. So it ensures seamless operations in the backend, and also deliver a lot of value to the client in terms of the main goal is to help him understand his financial health real time, so that you always not blind about his data and health of his company, so he can take better decisions.
Amazing. So, is there anybody else doing it as well? I have not heard about a lot of companies in the UAE doing something similar. Or are there?
Yeah, UAE is very early stage in this space. Some of them have tried, and some of my friends have tried in this space. But it's a very intersection of role of accounting and tech, right? So somebody who's good at tech, they try the hands, and then at some point, accounting is like huge thing to look at, which is not our forte, right? And so we wanted to be like a pure tech company, not tech enabled services, For
Yep.
somebody as accounting, they always have the issues in understanding fact. So
Yep.
this is an intersection role. But globally, this lot of companies are there in this space. If you look at Pilot.com in
Yeah.
US, which is backed by Jeff Bezos, already $1 billion company. There is any AI built by Indian founders, which is also
Bench.
like at Series B. Yeah,
Yeah.
bench accounting is
Yeah.
awesome. There are a lot of companies across
Yeah.
globe who's doing, but here I think there's a gap, and there are a lot of friends, of us are also trying to venture into this space. But always there is a massive room to do it actually. So there are a lot of companies, 2 million SMBs just in GCC, right? And they wanted to double down these numbers. So it's a massive market. Everybody has a room to play and bring digitalization.
That's amazing. You explained this so well. The market is huge. There are a lot of accounting firms, bookkeeping firms, but they don't use technology. I agree. It's just work which is being outsourced, and you just get the work done, but you don't have a place where you can see it. And small businesses don't have all the tools that's available to create that whole
Yes.
stack. So you basically create the whole stack for the business, right? Make it easy for them, along with bookkeeping, accounting, tax, which is basically the services. So that's amazing. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Shamli.
Cool. Done. So, and you also mentioned in the start, there are like almost 2000 plus accounting, auditing firms. I always thought it's a crowded market, but after talking to you, I realized it's actually not a very crowded market, right? Because there are very few players doing this, and there's continuous growth. And what are you doing? You're helping businesses grow because
Yes.
you're helping them go to the next level as well. So that's fantastic. Cool. So, sorry, you want to say something?
No, no, please go ahead, Shamli.
What is your take on AI and technology in this space? Like, there's so much of talk happening about AI. AI can really automate bookkeeping, accounting, and all of those things. What's your take, and how are you seeing it for financials?
See, we are a very much AI-driven company, and I'm a strong proponent of using AI because the kind of data. I'll just tell you a simple example, right? I'm just telling from the experience that I had. So we
Yeah,
built something just to look at the financial data of this company. So you connect to their data points like Zero, Zoho, whatever the accounting softwares they use,
okay,
and you connect to the chatbot. Then you ask, tell me what's my burn rate, how much this customer has to pay, whether I need to improve my financial performance. And
yeah,
for example, one customer I saw, his fuel expenses was very high, which is fluctuating, and vehicle maintenance cost, like a logistics company. So I called him up. I said, I'll show you something, interesting. Can you? And it's like, I'm trying to figure out this last 6 months, and how did you find it for 40 seconds, to this is where
yeah,
my core problems are. So this works 10 50x faster than human. So this I think this will AI will disrupt the whole accounting, and accounting is all about data, right? Get the data, gather it, categorize it, summarize it, analyze it, right? It's nothing outside the box. So if you can connect to the data points, the rest all the things can be done by AI. And I think most of the time, accountants will be like just their efficiency will grow 10,
yes,
15x of what they are today, and they will be able to serve much number of clients. And I don't imagine any companies having in-house accountants in the future. That will be like a very non-core operations, which could be very much automated. They will be done through platform. Like companies are not having much legal offices in house now, which is
yeah,
managed by platform. Other side, if you look at, I'll tell you a very simple example of this, right? If you look at the restaurants, what happened to restaurant? They only owns brand and IP.
yeah,
Restaurant done by back office cloud kitchens, which is not owned by them, and they have very streamlined operations. So why should I go and invest in interior and all other things
yeah,
to run my restaurant? I would, I can launch very faster, grow very faster as a restaurant if I plug into a cloud kitchen.
yeah,
So this a very good example of how back office is getting streamlined and automated.
yeah,
This will happen. This wave will happen across all industries and SMBs. Especially youth, young generation founders. really don't want to keep things in house.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. So, are you hiring in financials? So, if there are people watching, are you hiring for any particular role?
Yes, always we are hiring for sales, FinOps, marketing, tech. Anybody who is very passionate about what we do. I'm always happy to have a conversation. Who is interested about startups, startup finance, right? And fintechs in terms of engineers,
Yeah.
sales folks or marketing folks who are very interested in fintech space or startup space. I'm
Yeah.
always fascinated to have a conversation. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn. We are always hiring every week, basically.
Amazing. And you guys are focused mainly in the UAE right now. Is UAE your primary focus, or you're also looking at other regions in the GCC like Riyadh and
See, I see UAE as a very good launch pad.
yeah,
Right. You can launch the company here. You can be based here, and then you can scale to other regions. Right. So that is one of the we will scale, but we my primary thinking is that win one market and then scale into other markets, right? So you
yeah,
need to go deep down into one market, understand the whole nuances of that market, cultures, and then it's very easy to scale. We definitely will scale into other markets. We have a lot of inbound customers from Saudi, US. We have customers, Australia. But this is all organic. But when we looking at scaling, we look at other markets to go global.
yeah. I had this question to ask you. Everybody's looking at the US, right? Everybody's, especially people in India, are looking at the US because, and the US is also looking at India and the GCC capabilities, right? So, how did you ever think that, hey, I should look at the US first and then the UAE because that's a bigger market?
Yes. See, US, I would always see like India on steroids with high purchasing power,
Hmm.
right? So if you are in India, you understand this very
Yeah,
well how big the market is,
yeah,
right? So US, anybody go have a business,
yeah,
right? It's easy to set up everything and you can get the business from US. That's why it's a very big market. So even a small percentage of the market you get, you are
yeah,
big by
yeah,
essence,
yeah,
right? And then there is a high purchasing power. But doesn't mean that, like markets like Middle East, Africa, all are very growing economies. These are underdogs, right? The moment the appetite is strong, very high, if you can build something cool that actually people love, so
yeah,
it goes very fast in terms of growth. You can capture the market share very well, right? And for me personally, I'm always close to India and Middle East is close region, so this is also easy for me to always look at build from here. uh, that is the appetite. But all markets, I would say, it's good, big markets. But I strongly, next 10 years, I would see Middle East will be one of the largest entrepreneurship ecosystem in the world.
Yep, and we should take you really seriously because I know you study, you research, you really understand what you're doing. So that's some great information. Okay, so we'll just take a question before I have another question for you. We have this question from Kushal. He says, "How do we reach out for opportunities and to connect?" We
LinkedIn. Kushal, you can reach out on LinkedIn. We're always happy to have conversation.
Okay, cool. And when you talk about reaching out to clients, I don't know if you meant that aspect. Reaching out to clients is basically, do you cold message? Oh, SMBs are not even on LinkedIn most of the times. Most of the smaller businesses. So it's basically relationship driven.
Yeah, it's more relationship driven. I would, I don't take bet on, though I'm very fascinated about digital marketing,
Yeah,
performance marketing, and
yeah,
which takes time to build. Like, as an early stage founder, you find clients from your friends and family and, your contacts, connections, build relationships with people. So you're always basis set. Then you can actually invest in building an engine. So, community based marketing initially, you could very much try like, if you walk out in a event and tell, hey, I'm an accountant, tax consultant, out of 10, one will become your customer,
yeah,
right? And because there's a need in the market. The
yeah,
second is now going to scaling. When you think of scaling, then you invest in uh, uh, marketing, digital marketing, SMS marketing, whatever, omni channels that you can reach out, and then also invest in building the brand. That's very important.
Yeah. So what's the plan for the next, say, 3 years? The first 1.5 year, it's been a good run, touch wood, amazing. So what are you looking for the next 3 years? What's your plan?
So we wanted to scale very faster because first year is trying to figure out a lot of things,
Yeah.
right? And setting up the base, governance, setting up the companies, hiring some of the core team members. So we think we didn't grow enough, but next 2 3 years we wanted to go on a full swing. That's the goal, and we also heavily investing in technology, media to leverage, and looking at other markets also. Maybe end of the year we'll be like expanding to Saudi and other markets. So
Amazing.
we have some base numbers in our mind that we wanted to grow 10
Okay,
15x of what we are today.
amazing. Okay. Any closing advice to those who are looking at starting in Dubai, UAE? What would you tell them, or who want to get into something
Backpack to
similar?
Dubai. Yeah, backpack to Dubai. Don't set up your office first. Just try to get some clients. Once you have clients, then start your office, set up your company, everything, right? Because initially your whole focus should be only getting your first 10 20 customers, not wasting your time on setting up things and having. I used to take money into my friend's bank account from my first clients. So after 2 months only, I set up the company. So I didn't think of setting up and all nuances of that. That actually you can do. This is the easiest, what you call the jugaad way to start a company.
Yeah. So you basically got clients, tested your idea, and then you went and you started the entire process of registration and everything. So that's a great message. That's a great
Yes,
message.
yes, yes.
Okay. We have this question who says, do we need a local partner to start a business if we are from India?
Uh, Not really. You don't need a local partner. You can. It's 100% own company. Good benefits of starting in UAE. I was in Kuwait. You need to have a local partner, which is a huge bottleneck for to build your American dream. So,
Yeah.
but Dubai doesn't have it. Dubai, you can just backpack, come start your company. You go to any free zones, you can just set up your company. One day.
Okay, that's amazing. Cool. So I guess we have answered a lot of questions. I don't know if it's featuring, but if you guys have any more questions, you can directly connect with the Shafiq. He'll be more than happy to answer. And Shafiq, thank you so much for the time, and thank you everybody for joining in. Okay, we can summarize that UAE is a huge market basically. As you said, by 2030, 800 billion. That's what they're looking at. Currently, it's
Yes.
500, 1 million uh, small and medium businesses by 2030, right? So great potential, great market, great opportunity. And you see the Middle East, you're focusing on the Middle East basically. So that shows the potential it has. So, yes,
Awesome. Thank you,
thank
Shantale, for inviting this webinar, and thank you everybody for watching us. And
Yes,
I would ask everybody to have an eye on if you want to expand Middle East. This is a large underdog which is not much explored, and everybody is looking at this market. And a lot of millionaires and billionaires are moving here on the other side. So you will see some trends and impacts based on that. Look at Saudis, the kind of growth is you can't imagine. I haven't seen any other economies growing that fast like
yeah,
Saudi. So this is good place to be in if you really wanna scale, start a business.
yeah,
Thank you everyone.
absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Afi. Thanks a lot. Hope to meet you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care. See you. Thank you, guys.